Hello, bro chachos and sis chachas, I guess. I don't know. It's Hunger again, and it's time for another Pokemon Ultra Fire Red XD live stream. I'm just gonna start heading for the spot. Oh, you're not shiny, you're worthless. Destroy the non-turd. Yes, you're just some lame rock. We don't go for gravelers unless they look like something that was excreted out of an anus. Oh no. Ah, it's an Eevee. You're not shiny either, go away. Vap. Hopefully I don't run into a shiny within like the first 2 minutes. Oh no, I went the wrong way. Ah! This way. Oh. Dang it. Hello, random not shiny Eevee. Look at you not be shiny. Jeez, what's wrong with you? Take that. Alright, so much for that. Beware! Beware the beware! Alright. Oh no, we intimidated each other. Stupid intimidate having thing. Take that. You should have Fluffy so I can flamethrower you. Level 85? 95. No, 85. Sorry, there's a smudge on the screen there. Okay, here we go. Nice, powerful, omnipotent super cat. That's a fighting type. No, thank you. You are not shiny, so I do not care. Alright. (9/11) did John Stamos. Oh my. There's a statement for you. Oh no. Glorious, I cannot think of a name. Welcome. Welcome to the Let's Play live stream. Take that. Geodude. Alright. Here we are. We're off to a good start. I guess I'll do the Chansey dance in here. Why not? See, this part of the game makes no sense. He's like, would you like to dance? It's like, okay. Once I learn how to do this dumb dance, shouldn't I be able to do it anywhere on the map to restore my Pokemon's health? If that's how that works. You know, if all it takes to restore the Pokemon's health is to dance around like that, shouldn't I be able to do it anywhere? Just saying. Alright, I think we were in Dilford Chamber last time and didn't really catch what we wanted, so... What's up, Fifths? Alright. Oh, there's a shiny P. Look at that! More shiny P! First encounter inside the chamber, it's more shiny P. Oh my gosh. What are we going to do? There's blue pea everywhere. Let's throw a try-hard ball at it. That's a good start to the stream, though. 5 minutes in, shiny pea. Oh no! There's pee all over this chamber. Oh my gosh. That was the Brazilian president asking what's a golden shower. Oh no. He probably heard something about Donald Trump and he was just trying to get some context. What happened to the unknown? Let's see. We're gonna call it... We're gonna call it Bloopy. There we go. Heyo! Missed the first shiny catch, apparently. More shiny pea. Oh my gosh. I was gonna say, if that was shiny, that'd be absolutely savage. Alright. Because that's not gonna get demonetized or taken down or anything. Good job, Twitter. So he posts a video of somebody getting a golden shower without knowing what one was. That's amazing. That's a Torterra. Oh man. Boom. Take that. Yeah, I saw somebody post in the Discord where somebody had tweeted back a picture of a golden retriever getting a bath. Like as a reply. It's just, oh man. Oh, look out. More pea. We've stumbled across more pea. Cranch! Send him to the cranch. Man. We found our first shiny about 5 minutes in, so... 2 different versions of Avengers Endgame, huh? Avengers Endgame red version and Avengers Endgame blue version. Oh my gosh. Ranch him! Oh my gosh, why do you have Poison Point? Meant to have Beast Boost. Beast Boost. Do I have an antidote or something of that nature? I'll just use this. You only watch if Thanos wins. I don't know, maybe they did. Maybe that's why there's 2 versions. Maybe they have like the Wayne's World thing going on where you can pick your ending. How about we do the ultra happy ending? Can they just show a version of the Thanos snap where like everybody in Washington DC turns to dust? Like, just all the politicians and everything. Like, I'd watch that director's cut. uh. maybe they could retcon her at the end of the next Deadpool movie. uh. So it literally is going to be red version, blue version. Is what you're saying. Take that! Unseat the penguin overlords. That's a Lucario. Aww. Well, I'm glad you're at least interested in the movie. Because, you know, I haven't watched it yet, but I love the original, so... Oh, yeah. Oh, hey. Got to level 95. Alright. That's one of our soft goals here is to get that that King Blobos up to level 100, so we can use it for the Blob Squad. All right. A flamethrower. Yeet. Right. Well, and having multiple versions of the script / movie running around means that you end up with people not knowing which one's the real one, so that if they're someone who's inclined to try and leak information, they can't do it, you know, so, or they can, but they just end up looking like an idiot. That would be funny if they just had a different version that they passed out to different people, just so they could figure out who was leaking. You know, it's like, oh well, those details were in this version of the script, so it's Brad. Fire Brad. You know, that sort of thing. That'll teach Brad to leak parts of the script instead of going and getting me coffee. Oh, come on. There's pee all over this chamber. Just look at all this pee. Ugh. Take that. I'm sure it was. Like I said, the OAVs had space limitations, obviously. You know, as far as how much they could cram in there. So I'm guessing that they left a ton out. So yeah, like I didn't get to read the manga yet. I'm sure I will in the wake of the movie, because I'm sure they'll be re-releasing the snot out of it. But yeah. That is on my to-do list. Alright. Cranch him. Cranch him right now. Alright. It's been a whole, like, 10 minutes since we found a shiny. wrong with you? 10 whole minutes without a shiny. What is the state of this game? Cringe. Throw off even the actors. That's amazing. That sounds like a largely what do you call it? That sounds like a largely unnecessary step. Like, you know, it's a big cost expenditure, but if you're that worried about leaks and whatnot, then you know, why not? That means the special features are going to be massive. Check out these deleted scenes that we filmed just because. In this scene, Thanos turns Iron Man into a banana. Isn't that hilarious? Oh my gosh. What the heck? I'm not gonna fight this. Alright, let's go and visit a different chamber. See if maybe our luck changes, because you know, the first encounter in that chamber was a freaking shiny. Alright, here we are in Scoofib chamber. You know, it's like they weren't even trying. Drax gives Thanos a Batista bomb. In this scene, Drax actually exists in this movie. Because there was some talk that he might not do it because of the Me Too nonsense that was going on in the background. Why? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Bop, bop. Like that. Oh. Okay. I thought he was just walking out of the whole MCU altogether. That was quite a while ago. Nice, powerful, superior. Oh, okay. I see. So they've already got most of it in the can, or they've already got it all in the can. They're just waiting. Send him to the cringe. Alright, so we're not getting much better luck here in this chamber. Might move to a different one. Alright. Wow. Look at that absolute unit. That's still that eye, though. Take that, still that eye, fiend. Okay. There's a Sableye there. Nice. Brr. Right. Yeah, they had a lot of, in the early parts of the MCU, they had a lot of lag between movies, but now they've gotten into this rhythm where they're just pumping out 2 or 3 a year. Sometimes more. That's a Delphox. Crunch. I'm not sure what to hunt here. There's a chestnut right there. What a good boy. Flamethrower. Yeet. That's amazing. That was such a long time without an encounter. Seadra doo-doo. Because it's doo-doo. Alright, there we go. Right. Right. Alright, let's go in here. Monian? I don't know. Oh, there's Kecleon in here? Yo. Alright. We're breaking it. Take that. Oh. Hey. Alright. Do we need this to be there? Oh no. I'm being attacked. Hey. Take him out. Alright. Oh my gosh, come on. Crunch. Get him. Eiffel Towers keep showing up. More like awful towers. Hey, it's a poi pole. He's like, hey, look at me, I'm poi pole. And I'm like, please don't have poison point. I don't like your poison. Oh, hey, look at that, it's a Charizard. But you're not shiny, so I don't need you around here. Sorry, boy. Come back when you're awesome looking. Oh, look, it's Nihilego. Look at that. It's nice and powerful. Run because it's not shiny. Oh, okay. It's Kecleon. He's top Kek. Oh no, it's got Intimidate. Or Clear Body, excuse me. Why does he have Clear Body? Didn't they have color change in this gen? I don't know. Get rid of him. You think you may be losing your mind? What makes you think that? Found half of it in a dumpster and didn't find the other half? Check the gutter. I usually find mine there. You've ordered a writing desk from Walmart and they sent you a Raven? Due to arrive by the end of the day, okay. What's up, Phipps? Hey! Oh, that's a Metacham. What is that doing here? Hello, baby. I am here to be annoying. Oh, you're actually looking forward to assembling it. Okay. I mean, not necessarily. A lot of people find building things fun. That's why Legos exist. People aren't like, oh, my Lego writing desk came in the mail today, and that's just such a pain. I'm not looking forward to putting it together at all. Oh my gosh, it's an awful tower. Ah. Yes, it is a King Blobos that I have in the back. I'll show you. Working on getting it to level 100. Oh yeah, it's very nice. Nice, powerful King Blobos. Okay, use the crunch. Oh no. That thing again. Just gonna run from that. Oh, come on. Why aren't you awesome? Darned not shiny Charizard. I think Blastoise is the only shiny that I've got from Kanto. Or the Kanto starters, anyway. So, I would not mind a shiny Venusaur or a shiny Charizard here. Take that. Oh, that's very cool. Insightful comedy. Run, it's got poison point. Help. No, it's back. Help. Stop it, Poi Paul. Go away. Blastoise. I'm back away slowly. Yeet. Oh. And look, it's Venusaur. Get him! Take that. It's another Venusaur. I mean, Venusaur. Oh my gosh, that's Mega Alakazam. He's ready for his ice cream. Look out. Get him. You spoony psychic type. Alright, get him. So, the last episode of Pokemon Gaia was really hilarious. Like, unexpectedly. Like, it's normally not one that just, like, lays on the humor really hard, but, it pretty much killed it last time. I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, dang, why is this the funniest episode ever? They had a character named Cletus Big Money, who's probably the greatest no-name NPC of all time. He's got like 2 lines, and he's like the greatest character ever. My name's Cletus Big Money, on account of my big money. Oh my gosh. the point is, it's worth watching if you haven't seen it. Shameless plugs, I know. I have to find something to talk about while we're not finding shinies. What the heck, game? I did hear about that, yes. I thought it was I actually read the Bible for it. I thought it was interesting. You know, and instead of that, we got the New Adventures of He-Man, so go figure. But yeah, I know that there was I've seen a YouTube video on it recently in my notifications. It's like, what went wrong? Yeah, it's probably the one that's been floating around my notifications, I don't know. Not my notifications, my recommended list. It's a not shiny Kecleon. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Take that. Oh no. Take this. Oh no. No. I don't know. I feel like Mattel could do a very successful He-Man reboot if they did it right. And I think, you know, I think it could even sell a lot of toys if they did the toys right. You know? So, yeah, I don't know. I honestly think with how many characters they have in Masters of the Universe, they might actually be able to pull off a toy line with like a Skylanders type model to it, where they had like a game going on that you could play by having like a Castle Grayskull display base or whatever that you put the various characters on. You know, I don't know. Just a thought. You know. But I mean, I do think that Mattel desperately needs to rethink the way that they market their Masters of the Universe toys and who they're marketing them to, if they do decide to do another reboot slash remake or movie or whatever, you know. I'll go heal. I'm out of cranches. Need more cranch. I should go back to the Fo-Chun cave. Maybe I should do that. I mean, I think it's a good concept. I just think that it has to be done correctly, you know? But yeah, like, I realize that it's been overdone. Like, that's kind of the problem with it right now, is that, you know, the people that are into that sort of thing are not going to collect, you know, 3 or 4 franchises, and that's kind of what we have out there right now, is that much, so nobody wants to collect all of it. They're like, oh, I ain't dealing with that, you know? Oh, wait, I'm gonna go in there. Where am I going? What am I doing? Who am I? Oh, hang on. What am I doing? Oh. Yeah, no, like I said, it's one of those things where, I don't know. I think if the game was solid enough, then, you know, because I think the mistake that a lot of the Toys to Life deals make is they try to do everything too fast. And what I mean by that is they're like, okay, here's the game that does basically nothing, you know, unless you have the toys that come with it, and then you have to, and then, you know, basically all the content is caught up in the toys. You know, that's what Disney Infinity. I think that's the big mistake that Disney Infinity made. Was that all the content was caught up in the toys. Like, you had next to no content to do, just out of the box. You know, basically, if you didn't have a good number of toys, you were going to get bored of it after like 15 minutes or whatever. So I think if you had like a big open world sandbox style game, you know, that came with, you know, representations of some of the key characters, you know, and then you were able to sort of expand on that by collecting more toys, I think that would be really cool. Like, you know, but like I said, it's one of those things where you would have to kind of release things sort of slowly to the point where, you know, number one, it would be more solid financial thing, because if it doesn't work out, then you're not out that much because you've been releasing slowly, like, you know. But basically, ideally, you would want to have the market kind of clamoring for your next release, you know, rather than the market, as soon as your next release comes out, the market groans and goes, oh gosh, now there's 20 more of them, you know. You know, I think if they were releasing them more like Amiibos, doing it that way, you know, and again, I know Amiibos haven't been perfect either, but Amiibos, at least for the first part, were more anticipated releases than they were, oh gosh, another 20 figures that I need, you know. that's kind of what I mean, you know. I don't know, it's just, and again, you know, maybe Masters of the Universe isn't the best thing for that, but I think if you had, like, Masters of the Universe is kind of Uncharted, right? Yeah, exactly. And I think that was a mistake on Disney's part when they did Disney Infinity. And like I said, I think Masters of the Universe is big enough to do it. I'm not necessarily saying they're ideal for this sort of thing. Honestly, Disney Infinity would have been great if they had something that would kind of continuously expand the world that you're in, rather than, you know, like you said, locking specific characters into a world there. But like I said, I thought the concept was solid for Disney Infinity. It was just poorly executed. But like I said, I think He-Man is kind of a gray area in terms of content, you know, because Masters of the Universe has never really had a game before. You know, like, there's been projects where they were developing a game, but I don't think they've ever actually officially released anything. So it's one of those things where I think there's a lot of people who would like to play through a version of Eternia. You know, the more open world sandbox style gaming, the better. And like I said, I think it would be nice if only released across the pond. Well, there you go. See, if we didn't get it, then it doesn't count. No, just kidding. Man, but yeah, no, like I said, I knew that we hadn't gotten an official release of anything, but anyway, I feel like there's a lot of people who would like to go ahead and do that, but like I said, it would have to be done right, you know. And I think that's a big caveat for a lot of these companies, is that they don't necessarily, like, they have the idea, but they don't necessarily know how to execute it properly, and that's where they end up coming up short, you know. So you know, and maybe you know, and maybe in a practical release of that, you wouldn't necessarily need to get all the figures. You could just use DLC or whatever, you know? Because it's one of those things where there's enough characters where you wouldn't be able to just stick all of them on the little play base at the same time, you know? Or maybe you come up with a different sort of play base where that is an option. Maybe there's a huge interior area inside of the castle where you can just stick people, and there's and you know, so the more you stick in there, the more expanded playability you get out of the game. I don't know. Like I said, it's just a thing where Starlink does have the right idea. You don't have to buy any figures, yeah. And like I said, you know, for some people that's a plus. But like I said, with He-Man, I think there's a lot of people who would like to collect the figures if they were well made, for nostalgia's sake or for collection's sake, you know, because there is a pretty brisk collector's market. Yeah, and that's a good idea. And that might be why their figures aren't selling well, because people are just downloading the stuff. But you know, I don't know. I don't know how their model works or anything. Uh-oh. Don't lag on me, computer. What are you doing? Stop lagging. Break it. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, kind of like right. And again, it may be just because of oversaturation, or because it's not a recognizable property, you know. So yeah, I don't know. Because this is the first time I'm hearing about it. It's not something that I've seen on store shelves or anything up to this point. Yeah. I mean, if it's got Star Fox content incorporated into it, then that's probably why, because it's a more recognizable brand. yeah, I understand that a lot of companies are doing that sort of thing, but, right. Yeah, I mean... You know, I watched, watched the Nintendo Direct, last month, and then I watched, the Pokemon Direct at the end of the month, and then, the other day, I was walking around the house, and I stepped in something, and it was like, it was like a puddle of water in the floor, and I was like, is my roof leaking? And then I realized it was the tears generated by my wallet, so, you know... It's been crying uncontrollably since last month. It's really sad. It's just... But yeah, I know Amiibo isn't really Toys to Life, but it definitely was kind of based off of that. Like, it was a similar concept. I just think it's been executed better. Like I said, they're not releasing them in, massive 20 toy waves, or or making it to where you have to buy every last figure in order to enjoy all the content that a game provides. They're basically saying, hey, these are cool little things that have functionalities with multiple games, and you get to, it's some of the, depending on the game, you get to customize them and whatnot. So yeah, it's a different animal than a lot of these other Toys to Life type properties where, the content is the toy. And if you don't have a couple of toys to go with the little portal doodad that you've got, then you've got a paperweight. Because there is no game. If you just put the disc in there, there's no game other than what you can do with the toys. So that's the big difference, and I think that's kind of where, I think that's kind of where they mess up a lot of the time. Like, So yeah, I don't know. But if I was an executive at Mattel and I was trying to think of a way to get somebody to buy a $100 Snake Mountain playset or a $100 Castle Grayskull playset, that would be my thought, would be to have it connect to a game. I mean, yes and no. Like, there are games that have opened up fairly significant portions of gameplay with Amiibo, or fairly significant things. But it's one of those things where most of the time it's little in-game tchotchkes and whatnot. It's not necessarily something that's going to make it to where you can't enjoy the game without it, is my thing. It's, little special costumes, or special weapons, or items, or things like that, where, they're not... And again, a lot of the draw of Amiibos as opposed to the other Toys to Life stuff is that you can use them with multiple games. And it's not just multiple games in that franchise or whatever. It's, I can use the same Amiibo for Smash that I use for Fire Emblem, or Super Mario Maker, or, or Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because, you know, and I know that that Smash has like a whole thing where you can save a custom fighter on it and whatnot, and that's cool. I like that, you know. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I think that in and of itself was a better way to go with it than what a lot of these Toys to Life companies are sort of doing. You know. Oh, look out. Oh, look out. There we go. Flamethrower. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, look out. More stuff. Yeah, I remember those where they had the special versions of the Nintendo characters that were part of the Skylanders line that, you know, worked with the thing. Yeah, and those worked as amiibos as well, though, which I thought was really cool because it gave them, again, a bigger level of functionality. You know, it said, hey, you can use this toy with Skylanders, or you can use it with all these other games that are under the amiibo, you know, banner. So I thought that was pretty cool. Could you imagine if they did another Animal Crossing title that had ROMs on it, like the original one, and you could unlock them by using the amiibo that represents that ROM? You know, like, for example, if you had a Mario amiibo, it would unlock Super Mario Brothers on it. It'd be crazy. I'm just out here having ideas. I'm having a bunch of ideas that benefit other people besides me. I need to come up with some ideas for merchandise. Sell some merch out here. Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand that. But I mean, you know, honestly, if you had a choice of paying $5 for a virtual console version of a thing, or, you know, all by myself. I don't know where Caps is. Did he forget it was Wednesday again? Dang it, Caps. But yeah. Oh my gosh. Maybe his internet doo-dooed again. That tends to be what happens to him when he doesn't show up. It's usually because of DookieNet. Take that, foul non-shiny. Oh, that too. Level 90, or wait, 87. Sorry, smudge on the screen there. I should really move the little window.
Bubbo.
Yeah. Eviscerate him! Where are the shinies at? Get one shiny P about 5 minutes in and then nothing. Jeez, stream. Being brutal. Stream's being brutal, man. Batman. I'm Batman. And then I flew him on the Batjet all the way across the world and into prison. And do you know why? Because I'm Batman. Oh my gosh. Get him. Ow. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. It's a shiny hangity. Woo! I want so much. It looks like it's got eye boogers. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Get her. Okay. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be great. You go to sleep. You go to sleep right now. Okay. We got this. Try hardball, go! Get it! First try! Oh, yes. Let's see. I'm going to call it... Overjoy. Sayori. I was just gonna call it Overjoy. You're talking about Doki Doki Literature Club, aren't you? Oh my gosh. I haven't played it, but I watched PewDiePie play it. Jeez. I'm just gonna call it Overjoy. Oh, it's so shiny. So nice and shiny. I'm definitely evolving that. It's definitely happening. To attach it to the election, jeez. Hillary Clinton has officially said that she's not running, which I think is a good thing. I think if the Democrats don't spend the entire time trying to sabotage each other, then in the primary, then they could have a good shot, but we'll see. Because apparently sabotaging each other is the only way that most of these people know how to run an election. So... nice shiny. I'm gonna save my game so I don't lose that shiny. Nice, powerful shiny Hangany. Getting them clover shinies out here. Luck's turning around. Oh no, I don't have any Riku Breakus left. Run. Run. Conchila. What if I just lead with Mushy? Just switch things up. Get a Mushy. Well, it's Farfigtron. Luca, hello. Oh, it's a fire type. Get it. Get him. Take that. Alright, there's that. Oh, I got burned. Do I know D-Way? I might know D-Way. Maybe I am D-Way. Oh. I need something to heal this burn. I just use the full heal. Just do that. Leaf green nostalgic. Oh yes, it's very nice. Oh my gosh, it's shiny Conchila. Caught 3 of them in one stream a few weeks ago. They just won't leave me alone. Get it. Obtain. Capture it. Yes. Okay. What are we gonna name it? Let's see. Okay. Second here. I was just gonna call it Wabbit. Slinging stones into the ocean. What a great excuse for being gone. That was the 3rd shiny catch. Yeah, I would imagine. Let's see. What can I do here? I'll have to do that later. I've forgotten how to do it at the moment. Yeah. I don't think I really want to fight this guy. Okay, here we go. We're gonna keep going. Yeah. It's been super cold here over the past couple days. Like turn on the faucet, nothing comes out cold. Giga the rain. Absorb the nutrients. Alright. Ooh, boy. Oh my gosh, it's Militant. Yeah, right. Welcome to the Snowpocalypse. Snowmageddon. Yeah, West Coast has pretty nice weather most of the time. California has mild weather. California. Get him. Let's see. Still snow on the ground. Hello, Mushy. Waterfall to Blavos. Yeah. Yeah, I used to live out in the Mojave Desert out there, and it usually snowed around Christmas, but other than that, didn't get too much. Like, it actually snowed more, around that time of year more frequently there than it did here, as far as I remember. Like, when we get snow around Christmas, it's like a blizzard or an ice storm. Like, we never get just, like, regular snow around Christmas. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so sticky and goopy. Ew. Right. Take that. Ugh. Huzzah! Go away. Alright. Get him. Alright. We're gonna try and find some shiny here. Oh my gosh. So we get one shiny about 5 minutes into the stream, and then we go almost an hour without finding another one, and then find two in like 15 minutes. That sounds about right. Oh my gosh. Right? I don't know. Well, honestly, I think the 24-hour news cycle has a lot to do with how divided we are. They keep inflaming tensions and aggravating old injuries. You know, it's one of those things where they're trying to get their people to feel really strongly against the other side for elections, and that's fine at election time, but after the election is over, we need to kind of come together and drop all that, and that hasn't happened recently, you know? You know, it'd be nice, honestly, I watched a TED Talk by Eric Bischoff, and he was talking about the way that the 24-hour news cycle has stopped reporting on facts just for the sake of reporting facts, and has started reporting things to make us feel a certain way. You know, they're basically taking a page out of the pro wrestling playbook, because pro wrestling isn't trying to inform you. It's trying to make you feel strongly one way or another about the characters that are in that ring. You know, so you know, that's why they love John Cena so much, because, you know, regardless of whether people like him or hate him, he's still eliciting a strong reaction from them. You know, so that's all they care about, in a sense, is that, well, if you know, they don't care how John Cena makes them feel, as long as he makes them feel something. You know, so if people really hate John Cena at the shows, instead of chanting "Cena sucks" when the little kids are all chanting "Let's go Cena," they should just be quiet and sit on their hands, or chant for the other guy. Because as far as WWE is concerned, if everybody's chanting "Let's go Cena" and then the other half of the audience is chanting "Cena sucks," that's everybody reacting to John Cena and nobody reacting to the other guy. You know. Yeah, and that's the thing. There's been tons of people who felt that strongly about it, but like I said, for as far as WWE is concerned, that's a good thing. They don't see it as, oh, well, he's not like Hulk Hogan where he's got the entire crowd on his side. He's not like The Rock where he's got almost the entire crowd on his side. You know, they don't look at him and say, oh, he's a failure because he's not getting everybody to cheer for him. They look at him and say, well, he's getting everybody to react in some way. They all have a strong opinion one way or the other. That works for us, you know. And same thing with Roman Reigns. When they started trying to cram Roman Reigns down everybody's throat and everybody started booing Roman Reigns, it's like, well, at least they're reacting. You know. I said it's one of those things where when you look back at old WWE stuff and you look at the guys that have gotten fired, it's the guys that they go out there and have a whole match and the crowd barely reacts to anything. You know, the guys that get fired from that company are the ones that the crowd doesn't pay any attention to. They get up and go get popcorn during their matches. You know. You know. Well, yeah. Now everybody loves Roman because he had a life-threatening disease that was that was threatening his career and everything, and everybody's like, oh, what a triumphant success story. And the thing is, honestly, the whole reason that everybody hated Roman in the first place was because he won a Royal Rumble and Daniel Bryan didn't. That was literally the reason that everybody turned on Roman to start with. You know? Right. And again, it's one of those things where our media today is out to not to inform you and let you make your own opinion, but they're trying to get you to feel a certain way. Like I said, you know, and the thing is that they're indoctrinating people, and you know, they're indoctrinating people, and you know, and it's one of those things where I can see why Trump calls it fake news, but he should be calling everybody fake news, because Fox News is just as fake as the other side. Yeah. You know, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where I try to stay away from political talk on the channel. My beliefs are, you know, basically that the way politics currently is in this country is not a healthy thing. I think the two-party system should never have been allowed to take root in this country. I think it was a mistake to allow that to happen. The Electoral College was designed for multiple candidates running. It was not designed for a two-party race. Yeah. Jeez. But yeah, you know, they had an election in India a few years ago, and they had 31 candidates on that ballot. 31. You know, so there were choices, you know. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, you know, people in you know, even people here in America, they're like, oh, how could the Germans have put Hitler into power, or how could the Russians have let Stalin stay in power? You know, and well, and again, the every time somebody tries to be a third-party candidate, the other party, one of the two parties, is like, oh, they're just trying to steal our votes. They're going to help the other guy win, and they vilify them and turn everybody against them. You know. So yeah, it's like what was it? The Bezos, the Starbucks CEO, was talking about running, and everybody was you know, like he was at a rally talking about running for president, and this guy stands up and he's like, you a-hole, you're just gonna give the election to Trump and blah blah blah, you know. It's like, you know, it's like, man, the guy wanted to run for president because he was you know, he legit thought he could do a better job than the other candidates, and you know, and people are like, oh, stop being an a-hole that's just trying to give the election to the other guy. It's like, that's not what any multiple party candidate is trying to do. That's not what a third party candidate tries to do when they set out. They're trying to give people another choice. You know, I'd rather not have to choose between the lesser of two evils at every election. I'd rather choose between the lesser of 4 or 5 evils. You know, like, and the thing is, the way the Electoral College was designed is, if theoretically, let's say, if a third-party candidate were to obtain enough votes to where they got electoral votes, then they could theoretically give those votes to another candidate to help them win, if they thought a candidate that they were really opposed to was going to win the election. So that's the whole point of the Electoral College, is that, you know, if Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi are running for election against Darth Vader, and Darth Vader's going to win because Oda and Obi-Wan have split the vote, one of them can give their votes to the other one to help them win the election, so that Darth Vader doesn't get to be in charge. That's the whole point of the Electoral College. And a lot of people miss that. They think, oh, we should just go to the popular vote and let 3 or 4 states pick the president. You know, like, it's like, that's really a scary idea. Because then you'd have elections where the president only has to go 3 or 4 places to campaign. You go to New York and California, maybe Texas, you know, and, you know, do all their campaigning there. Whereas right now they have to go like 13 or 14 places, you know. Gotta make sure you win Florida. No need to go to Oklahoma. We know how all them are voting. You know. But, you know, like I said, it's one of those things where I think yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where, I mean, look at what would happen if we let California dictate our laws. None of us would be able to use a straw ever again. I mean, hope you like veggie straws. No more plastic straws. Everybody has to use Twizzlers. I don't know. Really mushy. Really. Bag. Oh, where are we? There's a floor store. Use that. Stupid paralysis. Yeah, I mean... Try consume more plastic cups, right? Right. It's just not well thought out. Like, in California, a lot of restaurants that used to offer straws are having to put these new lids on their cups that use, like, you know, 30 times more plastic than the original lids used to. So, you know, and it's way more plastic than the straw is, so they're increasing the overall amount of waste, but, you know, they're preventing that, you know, scenario from that one video where the sea turtle has a straw up its nose, you know? I don't know if you've seen that video. It's very difficult to watch. It's basically, you know, a volunteer removing it's basically somebody removing a massive straw from a sea turtle's nose. Like, you know, I guess I say massive, it's a regular sized straw, but, you know, it's up the turtle's nose and it's up there really deep, you know. And like I said, it's difficult to watch. The animal's clearly in pain. Right. But like I said, so I understand the reasoning behind it, but it's kind of silly. You know, maybe instead of getting rid of straws, have a separate disposal thing for them where they get shredded. That'd be nice. You know, you could recycle them. I don't know. It just seems kind of a drastic step. Be like, no, you all are irresponsible. No more straws for you. Yeah. I like how I start talking about politics and my number of viewers goes up. It's not my intention. I'm not trying to be a political stream. It's just, you know... It irritates me when I go on Facebook and I've got people that are normally sane people and they're putting stupid political memes up that are completely ignorant and they have no context to them. It's like... You know... Oh, come on, militant. Please stop trying to kill me. Ah, Twitter. I mean, it's gotten so bad on Facebook that, you know, when I see articles from certain news sources that I know that that's their game, that they're, you know, I freaking report them as fake news. And Facebook, when you report something, it doesn't necessarily automatically get rid of it forever. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that Facebook will stop allowing posts from that source, but what it does is it removes it from your newsfeed, so that when people post stuff from that source, it doesn't show up on your thing, and that's helped a little bit. Jeez. Right? I don't think so. It's referring to Brazil's president asking what a golden shower was, because he posted a video of one guy peeing on another guy on his Twitter, and then people were using the hashtag golden shower president to talk about him. And he didn't know what golden shower meant, so he asked on Twitter. It's just beautiful. Political ignorance at its finest. Yeah, I think it was just a meme. Like... Oh, wait a minute, shiny blobos! Look at you! You're so shiny! Shiny Blueby! Right? Yo. I think that's the play. I think we start a new political party called the Pizza Party. Purpley. It's so purple. Right? I've still got a couple that I haven't evolved yet, so I need to get to work on that. Let's throw balls at it. Yes! Blobos was caught. Yes, it was. Alright, Right. Man, I wish that was the biggest political divide in our country. I will call it Bluebus. Man, if the biggest thing we had to argue about as a country was what we want on our pizza, that's a good day for me. Reminds me of that episode of Garfield and Friends where Garfield destroys the relationship between the Buddy Bears over a pizza. Yeah, the same thing. It's because the Buddy Bears always get along, and so in order to get rid, and Garfield hates watching them on TV. So in order to get them canceled, he gets them to fight with each other, and in order to do that, he just tells them he's ordering a pizza and asks what they want. Oh, we are the Buddy Bears, we always get along. If you're ever in a fight, well, then you must be wrong, because we are the Buddy Bears, we always get along. Yeah. Mr. Beast posted a thing, it was like, you don't like pineapple on your pizza, huh? What about pizza on your pineapple? And it's just like half a pineapple with a bunch of pizza slices all over it. Oh, man. I'm gonna save my game. I don't want to lose that Blueby. Nah. It's okay, we've only been at it for like 100 some odd hours, it's fine. Yeah, I'm so glad I found a Hangany. Shiny Hangany was nice. Stop not letting me run away from you! Oh my gosh. I don't know. Yay! I mean, she's literally just head, you know? It's Inspector Gadget, very nice. That's one that I'd like to watch most of. I don't know if I'd want to watch the whole thing because it got kind of ridiculous later, but I definitely would like to watch most of Inspector Gadget. It's a solid most of it. Favorite episode was the last one. Doe. Sad. Did it actually have an ending? Or was it just like the Poochie syndrome? Oh no. I'm always on duty. Yeah. I figured it probably didn't have an ending, which is unfortunate. Because there's like this vague underlying subplot, which I thought was really nice. And I really wish they would have expanded on it, you know? But yeah, apparently that's not gonna... Brown bricks. Get him. I don't know. I try not to get into subjects like politics and religion, because most people have a really strong opinion one way or the other, and if you say the wrong thing when you're talking about them, you can start an argument. So I don't like to do that, because I like my chat to get along. Minecraft. Yes. I really need to do the end bumper on my videos. I've been too lazy to do a new outro, but it needs to be redone. Right, I understand that. Isn't it the little superhero goon with the mask or whatever? Isn't that what his deal was? I don't know. I hardly remember that freaking show. Yeah. From that point on, I hardly remember it because it was, you know, like I said, instead of making me want to watch it more, yeah, Captain Cape Man, right? Yeah, instead of making me want to watch it more, that character inevitably made me want to watch less. Just, you know, one bumbling, incompetent hero is enough, thank you. It's one of those things where when you're adding a character to a series, make sure they are actually adding something to the series. It's one of those things where if you add more characters to the series, but they're all exactly the same as characters that you already have, then they're not good characters. I mean, it's one of those things where it's pretty sad when you're introducing a new character that makes Inspector Gadget look good. You know? It's like, oh, look at this incredibly useless character. Inspector Gadget's better than that guy, eh? You know? So yeah, I'm just, and I think that's kind of the problem with a lot of shows that people quote unquote design for children, is that they dumb it down too much. You know, when you're designing a show for children, aim a couple years higher than your age target. because inevitably it's going to be younger kids that that end up watching it. What is what? Which one? Sapleaf? Mushy? You have to be more specific, Bathman. That's a tentacle. Sorry, it's shit. Oh gosh, it knows Earthquake. Right. I mean... Yeah. David the Gnome is one... You know, because it was a foreign series, it's hard to get over here. Alright, save real quick. Yeah, you talking about Mushy here? It's a Semush. Are you sure they're fighting? Because cats fighting and cats having sex sound about the same. Right. Exactly. Teach him to fight better. Get some little kitty boxing gloves. That would actually probably be adorable. Oh yeah. Nice, powerful, defective DVD printing. Run a dojo for cats. Amazing. That sounds like the plot of my new favorite anime. What the heck? Alright, Mr. Buttons. Feel the burn. Catch that chicken. You gotta eat lightning and crap cat poop. Right? And that's a lot of things nowadays. Is, you know, don't want to do a DVD release? Put it out on YouTube and monetize it, you know? Oh, man. It's Sapleaf! Or just wait for somebody else to put it on YouTube and monetize it and then copyright claim it. RPG Maker RPG of a dojo for cats. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. No, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, the better idea would have been just to not make it. I finally figured out what the G stands for in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Don't watch it! Oh my gosh. The official channel yeah. There you go. No need for DVD releases on YouTube. That's a smart plan. Nobody wants that kind of disgusting shelf litter. GX was fun. I mean, no, he did that was for the D and 5Ds as well. He's like, I figured out what the D stands for in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Don't watch it. And then in a later episode, he's like, I figured out what the G stands for in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Don't watch it. And then he's like, I figured out what the Z in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal stands for. Don't make it. You know, like, you know. Yeah, or maybe it was the X in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal. I don't know. But anyway, he did the don't watch it joke for both. The Space Futanari Tsundere. Oh no. Jeez. reminds me of when Shonen Jump came out over here, and like half the stories were about people that had a ghost inside of them. Like, it was like, look at Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the story of a guy that's possessed by the spirit of a thousand-year-old pharaoh. You know, and it's like, oh, look at Hikaru no Go. It's about a little boy who's possessed by the spirit of a 600-year-old Go master. It's like, oh, look, here's Naruto. It's a story about a boy who's possessed by the spirit of a nine-tailed fox. It's like, dang. Why don't you guys just all get together and form a support group or something, you know? Right, Shaman King 2. I'm possessed by the spirit of a 600-year-old samurai. same type of stuff. Like I said, just punch each other with ghosts. I don't know. Like I said, it's just one of those things where I thought about that back in the day. I was like, what if there was like a thing where they were all part of like a support group? You know, they stand up at the beginning, you know. Stand up at the beginning and be like, hi, my name is Yo, and I've got something living inside of me. And then there'd be just some random chick there, you know, who didn't understand what the real purpose of the group was, you know. You're like, I've got something inside of me all the time. Right. Jeez. Don't talk about putting single digits inside of people. You'll get me demonetized. Right. And he wants his juice box right this very second. Jeez. He's possessed. He's insane. He's my kind of guy. What do they call a pyramid with windows? A tomb with a view. Aw. You know that some pyramids actually had holes in them for ventilation. Like, you know, they had like these ventilation shafts that would go throughout there. And also, there's evidence that some pyramids may not have actually been used as tombs, or at least not entirely. There are indicators in some pyramids that Egyptians may have used them to mix certain somewhat noxious chemicals. So it's interesting. Like, you know, they'd they'd have the two shafts in there on either side, and they'd pour one chemical down one and another chemical down the other one, and then they'd mix in the middle. Anyway. But yeah, there's all kinds of weird theory that goes along with that. Like, the Egyptians may have the chemicals they've been mixing may have been used to make primitive batteries, and they may have actually had electricity for something. Yeah. Gosh, I heard this at some point, but I can't remember what it was. You know, I know that they would stuff the mouth of the dead with garlic and whatnot. But I can't remember what the reasoning behind it was. So what is the real reason? Italian vampires. Oh no. It's actually interesting how the whole vampire thing got started. Basically, people were dying from disease in an area, you know, and the people, you know, were very superstitious, and they thought that perhaps these diseases had some sort of supernatural origin, and so they would dig up recently deceased bodies, and they would find blood trickling out of their mouths, and their stomachs looked engorged. So they thought that they were they were getting out of their graves and feeding on the blood of the living. So they would mutilate the corpses. Well, those two characteristics, the blood coming out of the mouth and the stomach being engorged, they're natural parts of the decomposition process. You know, when as you decompose, their gases build up in your stomach and can cause it to look bloated, and those same gases can force blood and other materials up out of the mouth as they try to escape the body. So what these people saw as the dead rising to feed on the blood of the living was really just a normal decomposing body. And, you know, but like I said, the people were very superstitious, and so they started using wooden stakes to basically nail the dead into their coffins at the funeral, you know, and things like that. Enjoy your dinner, folks. Hope nobody's eating. But anyway, eventually, there were actual people who knew what they were talking about sent out to investigate these claims of vampires rising from the dead, and they figured out what was really going on, and then they made laws prohibiting the people from exhuming bodies without permission and mutilating them and whatnot. So it's kind of stopped the whole hysteria thing, and they ended up figuring out what was going on with the disease as well, and stopping that problem as well. But, you know, basically they sent doctors out to look at everything and figure out what was up. But it's still kind of a funny thing how people's imaginations sort of ran away with them there, you know, and we ended up with, you know, stories like Bram Stoker's Dracula and things like that as a result of all of the collected vampire mythos that rose up out of that. Oh my gosh. What do I want to put in the front? Because I can't use this anymore. Let's use Shiny Kuno. Why not? Stick that in front. Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine without a bunch of random and crazed peasants, we wouldn't have Castlevania? There we go. But yeah, Bram Stoker's Dracula led to like the whole this amazing proliferation of vampire stories, you know? I just hate the way that most movies adapt that story. They have Van Helsing as this dashing young vampire slayer, and he's an old Swedish guy. Like, he's like this funny old man with an accent, and he does all this crazy stuff that people are like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, trust me," you know. All right, peep, 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 peep. Sitting there, mouth open. Feed. Yeah, it's funny because the thumbnail for the hunt where I caught it was like a chibi, super deformed version of it. I was having trouble drawing I was having trouble capturing the majesticness of it, so I decided to just go cute and derpy with it. The silent alarm, huh? Take that. Thankfully, I keep my package on me, so I don't have to check when it gets here. I know some guys like to leave it with their girlfriend, but you know, call me a traditionalist. Oh my gosh, it's a girth time. Destroy him. Oh no. See, that's not good. What were they thinking? Should I ice beam here? Let's just fly. Trying to bubble beam me. Yeet! Oh no. Ow! Yeet! The silent alarm. Hangany. Oh my gosh. Go away, Hangany. Go away, Hangany. Nobody likes you except everybody. Hangany's so good. It's a good Pokemon. Water Pulse! Yeet. Destroy him! Okay. Conchila. Test their fire alarms, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, there's a... Very close to my house, there's a tornado siren that they test every weekend. Right at the crack of noon. Wakes me up all the time. Right. That's annoying. Use Walter Plus. Bam! Alright. Can we find one more shiny before the end of the stream? That's the question. It's been a good while since our last shiny. Right. Use Walter Plus. Oh my gosh. Why did you not... Why didn't you die? Right. Well, and the problem here is that because we get tornadoes, everybody is like overly alarmist about them. Like, you know, we get tornado sirens if there might be a tornado. You know, like, instead of there's a tornado on the ground, it's heading straight for you, it's there might be a tornado. We better freak everybody out by sounding the alarm, you know? Like, know, I don't know. Like, usually they're pretty careful about it, but like the news media, though, they get on there and they're like, oh my gosh, stay tuned to us if you don't want to die. You know? We can keep you safe. And then if you've got DirecTV, your signal goes out and you're like, no! Because if you have DirecTV, you don't get to keep your signal during a tornadic activity. It just doesn't happen. Too much cloud, too much rain. You get no signal for you. Right, exactly. We have discovered the existence of tornadoes. This is not a drill. Previously, the theory was that all tornadoes were actually Chuck Norris just really upset at a trailer park. Yeah. Yeah, it's a circus. It's just awful. They get down there and they're like, stay tuned if you don't want to die. Only we can keep you safe. Oh, it's trying to learn Blizzard. Yas! Do we get rid of Mind Reader for Blizzard? I don't know. Do we keep Mind Reader because we have Blizzard? It's such a hard choice. I'm not gonna keep. I'm not gonna keep it. It's fine. We'll stop learning it. It's fine. I'm not gonna use this in VGC or anything. It's fine. It's militant. Run. Stay too much longer. Maybe 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. Ran. But yeah. And that's honestly why in places like California they haven't allowed TV stations to run earthquake warnings, even though they're far more reliable nowadays than tornado warnings, because they don't want to just send the populace into a mass panic for no freaking reason. Because like they can predict when an earthquake's about to happen, they just can't always predict how severe it's going to be. So they don't want the news getting on there and being like, "Aw, that sucks." But they don't want people getting on the news out there and going, there's going to be a massive earthquake, all of us are going to die, you know? Like, stay tuned if you want to live. You know, they don't want that going on the news, so they're just like, nah. Just let them happen. Surprise us. Yeah. Which is kind of crazy if you think about it. I mean, we have the technology to predict earthquakes pretty accurately, and we're not putting it to good use. It's a tentacle. Sorry, it's shit. It's not shiny. Oh, jeez. That's gotta be rough. Nobody texted me. Can we get just one more shiny before the end of the stream? Oh. The old terrorism warning alerts game. Under the Ron White scale for terrorist attacks, there would be 2 levels. Find a helmet and put on the damn helmet. Go from normal to find a helmet to put on the damn helmet. Best terrorism alert scale right there. Because the problem with the old color-coded scales, nobody knew what to do. It's like, what do we do different? Oh, the warning level changed to chartreuse. What does that mean? I have no idea. Probably we're all gonna die. You know? Just assume the worst. What level is it now? Maroon 5? Oh, we're all categorically screwed. What the heck? There's just no rhyme or reason to it. That was the problem. Like, is red the worst one? What happens on red? And, like, how they determined the alert was weird, too, because they never go into, like, why the alert was that way. It's just like, we spun the little twister spinny thing, and it said right foot green, so terror alert's green today. You know? Alright. The terrorism alert has gone from erect to ejaculating. Alright? You know... Shit's gonna get everywhere. And now we're back to Terror Alert Flaccid. Yeah. Don't expect another Terror Alert for at least 15 minutes. Bring your umbrella. Oh my gosh. I was watching Gallagher, and people had started bringing, you know, plastic sheets and whatnot to his shows so that they, so they wouldn't get splattered. But they would only do that if they were in the first few rows, right? So he started finding ways to get other people in the audience wet. You know, at one point he made a sledge-o-matic that had a hole in it, so that when he splatted the thing that he was splatting, the stuff would shoot up through the hole in the sledge-o-matic and go everywhere. You know, like, and he one of the things he was doing is he had like buckets of stuff, and he would he had these circular sponges that he would dip in them, and then he'd throw the sponges like a frisbee, and they just squirt they just get stuff everywhere. Oh man, that man was brilliant. Take that. Alright. Shiny Kuno. I don't think I can do anything with that. Alright. Now things are kind of winding down here. Kind of running out of PowerPoints for things. Okay. Okay, well, I think we have time for maybe one more encounter. Are you shiny? That is the question. No, no shiny Dolores today. Sad face. That would be an awesome shiny. Most powerful shiny Dolores. Take that. Okay. So much for that. Oh no, the lovely kiss. Why? Why didn't you die? It was supposed to die. It was supposed to die in one shot. What are you doing? Oh, maybe it'll kill itself in its confusion. Let's see what happens first. Let's see if I wake up or if it kills itself. Alright, it's confused. Let's see what happens. Wake up. Wake up! Can't wake up. Oh my gosh. wake me up inside. Oh my gosh, come on. Hit yourself. Hit yourself, you stupid mismatched set of spare parts. Alright, it's dying one way or the other now. Alright, here we go. Bop. Alright. And that's our last encounter. Okay, then. Unless I get... Oh, no, I did get another one before I got out. What the heck? Nice, powerful sap leaf. Let's get it. Still not shiny. What's wrong with these things not being shiny? Okay, die in one shot this time. Alright. Alright, it's gone. Okay. Alright. Gonna fly back to the civilization here. Yeah, we'll go to Seven Island. Start there next time. Alright, everybody, that's it for this episode, or this stream, whatever you want to call this. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate everybody who stopped by, and everybody who's watching this after the fact. Hope everybody has a great day, and I hope we'll see you all around for the next one. Bye-bye!